Hi friends. Today I wanted to talk to you about the books that I am scared to read. Thankfully this is a very short list, but I have quite a few intimidating books on this list. So these are books that I already own that I am really afraid to read, and I'll give you the reasons why I'm afraid to read them. Let me talk about the standalones that I'm afraid to read first. The first book that I'm afraid to read is A Stolen Life by J.C. Dugard. This is about a woman that was kidnapped and was gone for a long time, and she was able to escape her kidnapper. This is her memoir, and I am so afraid to read this book because I know it is going to rip me apart. Like, obviously, I know it worked out in the end, like, she got away. I can only imagine the horrors that she endured while she was kidnapped, and I just know this book is going to break me. The next book that I'm afraid to read is House of Leaves by Mark Z. Danielewski. First of all, look at the size of this thing. And these are some really thin pages. And not only that, oh my god, there's a table of contents in here. Holy cow, and there's like an appendix or an index. But not only that, but like look at how some of these pages are. Like just the way that you're supposed to read these. That's why I'm scared to read this. The way that this book is set up. What if I don't read it correctly? Also, it's thick as hell. It is thick. It's over 600 pages. And I don't know how I'm going to actually like physically read this because like there's pages like this. What? What is even going on? So that's why I'm afraid to read this one. The next book that I'm afraid to read is The Stand by Stephen King. I own this on ebook, and I feel like I have to read this because I'm named after one of the characters. And Stephen King has been mediocre as an author for me. I know a lot of people like him, but I also know The Stand is like at least 800 pages, if not 1,000 pages. So I'm very intimidated to read a very long story with a lot of characters. I've seen the TV miniseries from the 80s or 90s, and it was intense. But yes, I'm named after one of the characters in that book, so I feel like I should probably read it. The next book that I'm afraid to read is The Sword of Kaigen. I own this ebook and audiobook actually, but I'm afraid to read this one because I'm afraid I will be disappointed. It is described as the Avatar The Last Airbender's magic system, and I adore that series. Like, I rewatch it probably at least once a year. And I just don't want to be let down. I really don't. The next book that I'm afraid to read is The Priory and the Orange Tree by Samantha Shannon. This book used to get a lot of hype on BookTube when it first came out, but it is a thick girl. She thick. And I just don't know if I'm ready to dive into that. Also, it has since expanded since it originally got all this hype. There is now two prequels and a companion novel. And I just don't know if I'm ready to commit myself to an over 1,000 page book and companion novels. I mean, I guess I don't have to read the companion novels. But speaking of series, that leads me into my next section. I am afraid to read The Name of the Wind by Patrick Rothfuss because what if I love this and he never finishes the series? That is my biggest fear when it comes to this book. He cute, but he thick. This book is over 700 pages. So what if I commit myself to that and then the second book and he never finishes the trilogy? Like, people on Reddit say it's never going to happen. So I don't know. I don't know if I should read this, but this book is so loved. Look, I found this secondhand in a bookstore, and it is so loved. There is a note from Emma to Francisca from 2015 wishing her happy birthday and that this is the book she's best book she's ever read. So I feel like I have to take Emma's recommendation, even though Francisca donated the book. I feel like I have to take Emma's recommendation and actually read this book. The next book that I'm afraid to read is The Witching Hour. I don't know why I'm afraid to read this, to be honest. I'm already halfway through it. I started in 2023 though, and it's still like a softie enough for me. Like I still want to finish it, but my mom has told me about the second book, and I just don't think I'm going to read it, to be honest, because it does not sound like it's going to be up my alley. So maybe that's why I'm more hesitant, is to think I'm not going to continue the series after I finish The Witching Hour. But The Witching Hour is one of my mom's favorite books, and I want to see what it's about, but at the same time, it is a very, very long book. Even the audiobook is like 48 hours long. It is a commitment. And my TBR is like flashy and shiny and hey, look at me, pick me up. And then I have The Witching Hour, who's just staring at me, staring me down over here. I don't know. It's been a softie enough from 2023. But it is one of my goals this year to finish that book. Second to last books that I'm afraid to read. Really, anything by Brandon Sanderson, but this happens to be the series that I own, and this is the Reckoner series, and I think there's actually a fourth book as well, but I have never read a Brandon Sanderson book, and as a huge fantasy lover, I'm kind of ashamed to admit that because he is like one of the most recognized names in fantasy. I would say I hear Brandon Sanderson, Robin Hobb, and Sarah J. Maas, and she's my last one. I own Throne of Glass on Kindle, and I have never read a Sarah J. Maas book in my life. I think with Throne of Glass, I'm a little hesitant to actually start it because there's so many different ways you can read it. Like, do I read Assassin's Blade first and then go through the series? Do I do the tandem read? There's so many ways to read this. So if you guys have read Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass series, please let me know. And then I've never read ACOTAR. Everybody says I need to. Everybody says I need to. I have coworkers that are like, oh my god, how have you never read a Sarah J. Maas book? And I'm sorry. I know, as like a proclaimed fantasy lover, I probably should read her books. But I haven't. And I don't know if I'm saving that for like the perfect mood. I don't know. I don't know what it is about me not picking up her books. I have no doubt that they're good. I don't know if they're going to be as good as everybody says they are because I have seen the fan fiction and the balls that people throw for ACOTAR. I'm in the dark because I don't follow that fandom, and I want to be a part of it. I want to understand, like, oh yes, you're dressing like this character from this book. Now it all makes sense. Now I get the memes about the winged shadow daddies. I think that's what they call it. I want to understand it, but I have a feeling that's just going to be a really big commitment to read those books. And the ACOTAR series is still being published. At least the Throne of Glass series is done. So maybe I'll start there. I don't know. Y'all tell me down in the comments, which book should I pick up first for Sarah J. Maas? And Brandon Sanderson. I really do want to read Trust in the Emerald Sea, but I also have the Reckoner series that I already own. Elantra, I think is the title, is very appealing to me. Dude's got a long bibliography, but I really want to jump into these authors and try them out and see if they're for me. So please let me know in the comments down below which books I should be less hesitant to read because of my fear. And if you've read any of these books that I'm afraid to pick up, let me know and tell me if they were worth it. I will see you guys soon in a new video. Happy reading. Danielewski. It's been explained similar to the last Avatar. Oh my god. It's... My brain's not working yet. It's early. Okay. 2000... No, go away, puppies. I really do want to read Trust in the Emerald...